father and I were just discussing his day at work. Why don't you tell our daughter about it, honey?
Janie, today I quit my job. And then I told my boss to go fuck himself, and then I blackmailed him for almost $60,000. Pass the asparagus.
American Beauty is a 1999 comedy-drama film directed by Sam Mendes in his feature film directorial debut that was a massive sensation, but whose reputation has taken a huge hit in the decades following its release. The movie stars Kevin Spacey as Lester Burnham, a media advertising executive who hates his job and is undergoing a midlife crisis. He narrates the film from after his death. He lives in a rather nice suburb outside of Chicago, Illinois, and is unhappily married to neurotic real estate agent Carolyn, played by Annette Bening.
She wasn't always like this. She used to be happy. We used to be happy.
They have a 16-year-old daughter, Jane, played by Thora Birch, who dislikes both of her parents and who suffers from very low self-esteem.
Jane, honey, are you trying to look unattractive?
Yes.
Congratulations, you've succeeded admirably.
Retired U.S. Marine Colonel Frank Fitz, played by Chris Cooper, moves in next door, along with his near catatonic wife Barbara, played by Allison Janney, and his teenage son Ricky, played by actor Wes Bentley. Ricky documents the world around him with a video camera and uses a part-time catering job as a front for dealing marijuana. He hides this from his father, who had him committed to a hospital and sent him to a military academy due to bad behavior.
My name's Ricky. I just moved next door to you.
I know. I kind of remember this really creepy incident where you were filming me last night.
I didn't mean to scare you. I just think you're interesting.
Thanks. I really don't need to have some psycho obsessing about me right now.
I'm not obsessing. Just curious.
Lester's self-deprecation soon comes to an end when he finds himself reinvigorated by Jane's friend and classmate Angela Hayes, played by Mena Suvari. Lester develops an obvious infatuation with the attractive Angela, much to the dismay and embarrassment of his daughter Jane.
Oh, shit. They're home. Quick, let's go up to my room.
I should say hi to your dad. I don't want to be rude. Nice suit. You're looking good, Mr. Burnham. Last time I saw you, you looked kind of wound up. Ooh, is that root beer?
Adding to this, Angela teases Lester.
Hi.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Remember Angela?
Yes, of course.
I forgot to tell you, she's going to spend the night. Is that okay?
And while eavesdropping on the girls in Jane's bedroom, Lester overhears Angela talking about him in a very naughty way.
Too embarrassing to live.
Well, your mom's the one who's embarrassing. What a phony. But your dad's actually kind of cute.
Shut up.
Oh, come on, like you've never sneaked a peek at him in his underwear? I bet he's got a big dick.
You are so grossing me out right now.
If he builds up his chest and arms, I would totally fuck him.
La la la.
I would suck your dad's big fat dick and then I'd fuck him until his eyes rolled back in his head.
La la la.
Gee, shh. What was that noise?
All three family members begin to go through life-changing experiences. Carolyn begins having an affair with a real estate rival named Buddy Kane, played by Peter Gallagher. Jane develops a romantic relationship with Ricky, having bonded over what he considers to be the most beautiful thing he ever filmed, a plastic bag floating in the wind.
It was one of those days where it's a minute away from snowing. there's this electricity in the air.
And Lester, believing that he may have a chance to sleep with Angela, begins to work on himself and changes his life. He quits his job, blackmails his asshole boss for $60,000, and gets a job at a fast food chain flipping burgers. He also begins smoking marijuana that he buys off of Ricky, as well as working out excessively, hoping to impress Angela.
I think using illegal psychotropic substances is a very positive example to set for our daughter.
You're one to talk, you bloodless, money-grubbing freak.
Lester, you have such hostility in you!
Now, this film had its origins in 1991. Writer Alan Ball was sitting outside the World Trade Center in New York City and saw a plastic bag floating in the wind. He watched the bag dance in the wind for 10 minutes, and he said that it evoked an unexpected emotional response. The following year, in 1992, he became very fascinated with the media circus surrounding the Amy Fisher story.
Amy, was that you on the tape? Amen.
He decided to write a play based off of all of his ideas inspired by these events, but over time, he decided that it should become a film. By 1997, the script was being written. Steven Spielberg read the script on a Saturday night, and when he arrived at the DreamWorks offices on the following Monday morning, Spielberg said, "Let's make this movie and let's not change a word." Steven Spielberg became executive producer on this film. The movie was directed by Sam Mendes in his feature directorial debut, and the movie was filmed from December 1998 until February 1999. The role of Lester Burnham was originally offered to actor Chevy Chase, who turned it down. Kevin Costner, Jeff Daniels, Woody Harrelson, John Travolta, and Bruce Willis were all considered. Kim Basinger, Holly Hunter, and Helen Hunt were considered for the role of Carolyn Burnham. Jake Gyllenhaal and Seth Green auditioned for the role of Ricky Fitz. For the role of daughter Jane Burnham, Lily Sobieski auditioned, and actress Jessica Biel was originally cast, but Biel had to drop out due to conflicts with Seventh Heaven producer Aaron Spelling. The part then went to former child actress Thora Birch. The role of Angela Hayes was offered to actress Kirsten Dunst. She turned it down. Sarah Michelle Gellar turned it down due to conflicts with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and the role was also declined by Allison Hannigan, Brittany Murphy, and Katie Holmes. Mahendra Delfino and Kate Hudson auditioned for the role of Angela. The role eventually went to actress Mena Suvari. During the film, Lester's physique changes from flabby to toned. Kevin Spacey worked out during filming to alter his body, but Sam Mendes shot the scenes out of order, so Spacey varied his postures to portray different stages of the film. Kevin Spacey loosely based Lester's early schlubby deportment on actor Walter Matthau. Kevin Spacey also analyzed actor Jack Lemmon's role in the 1960 film The Apartment for inspiration. Sam Mendes designed the two girls' look to change over the course of the film, with Thora Birch gradually using less makeup and Mena Suvari gradually using more, to emphasize his view of their shifting perceptions of themselves in the film.
Just don't fuck my dad, all right? Please?
Why not?
Former child star Thora Birch, best known for films such as Hocus Pocus, Monkey Trouble, and Now and Then, was barely 17 years old at the time she did the film, and thus her parents had to approve her naturally stupendous topless scene in the film. And they, along with child labor representatives, were on the set for the shooting of it. Both of her parents, Jack Birch and Carol Connors, were adult pornographic film stars in the 1970s, and neither parent objected to allowing their daughter to go topless. Thora Birch had no problem with the scene, as she knew it fit into the movie, and I believe that it works as well for the artistic quality of the film. The hand and stomach on the film's poster do not belong to Mena Suvari. The hands belong to actress and model Christina Hendricks, and the stomach belongs to actress and model Chloe Hunter. For the high school pep rally, the Spartanette dance routine was choreographed by singer Paula Abdul. While the film takes place in an area likened to Evanston, Illinois, 12 miles from downtown Chicago, the movie was actually shot in Los Angeles, California. DreamWorks ran parallel marketing campaigns for this film. One was aimed at adults, and one was aimed for teenagers. It had a limited release in September of 1999, and then had a wide release by October 1st. At the 57th Golden Globe Awards, broadcast on NBC on January 23, 2000, American Beauty won Best Picture, Best Screenplay, and Best Director. This gave the movie even more publicity, and just as the film was about to leave theaters, DreamWorks expanded its theatrical run even more to nearly 2,000 theaters nationwide by March. It left theaters in June of 2000, having grossed a worldwide total of $356 million on a budget of just $15 million. On May 9, 2000, American Beauty was released on VHS and DVD. Before the rental release, Blockbuster Video wanted to purchase hundreds of thousands of extra copies for its guaranteed title range. Blockbuster and DreamWorks couldn't agree on a profit-sharing deal, so Blockbuster ordered only 2/3 of the number originally intended. Some Blockbuster Video stores only displayed 60 copies, others didn't display it at all, forcing customers to ask for it. My mother rented this film from Blockbuster upon its May 2000 VHS release, and I remember watching it together with my parents, and everyone was impressed by it. The film received overwhelming praise. Roger Ebert gave the movie 4 out of 4 stars. The reviews were overwhelming. At the 72nd Academy Awards on March 26, 2000, American Beauty won Best Picture.
American Beauty.
Best Director.
And the Oscar goes to Sam Mendes for American Beauty.
Best Screenplay.
And the Oscar goes to Alan Ball for American Beauty.
Best Cinematography.
Conrad L. Hall for American Beauty.
And Best Actor.
And the Oscar goes to Kevin Spacey in American Beauty.
I would like to dedicate this to the man who inspired my performance, a man who has been my friend and my mentor, and since my father died, a little bit like my father, whose performance in The Apartment stands as one of the finest we've ever had. Jack Lemmon, wherever you are.
This movie was analyzed by scholars. It was analyzed by academics. What was this film about? Was it about the meaning of life? Was it about a mystery story? A story about American suburbia? Was it a love story? It's funny, but it's sad. It's shocking, but it's erotic. It's about conformity and beauty, sexuality and repression. This movie was huge. From its release in late 1999 all the way through the year 2000 when everyone, including myself, rented it on video, to 2001 when articles and opinion pieces were still being written about it. I actually bought this movie on VHS at a comic book show in the early summer of 2001. This movie was all anyone seemed to talk about. Until...
For those of you who have just joined us, we'd like to recap. 3 airplanes have crashed into American landmarks this morning. 2 planes into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center.
September 11th, 2001. The attacks on New York and Washington had such an instantaneous, dramatic, overwhelming impact on the American psyche and on culture.
You messed up. Because if there's one thing I'm good at, it's punishing evildoers. If you don't believe me, there's over 200 guys in Texas you can ask.
That they actually impacted the legacy of the movie American Beauty. This film fit in very well during the late 1990s Bill Clinton era, where despite prosperity, many people felt, rather glum, despondent. This was reflected in films like American Beauty, Fight Club, or even Office Space. It's not that the people in those films didn't have jobs or friends or family or houses. It was that they felt apathetic and depressed for deeper psychological reasons. American Beauty was already pretentious, But after 9/11, it seemed really pretentious. Who the hell cares about some guy's midlife crisis when airplanes crash into skyscrapers? But after seeing thousands of people die on live television, it's hard seeing beauty in anything, let alone a plastic bag in the wind. If there is any film that is a textbook example of a pre-9/11 movie, it would probably be American Beauty. The second negative impact to the legacy of this film was the Me Too movement of the 2010s. It may be difficult for some to believe, but movie viewers voted the Kevin Spacey Mena Suvari kiss as one of the nominees for Best Kiss at the MTV Movie Awards in the summer of 2000. Even DreamWorks declined letting MTV use the clip because they thought it was inappropriate, but the viewing public voted for it. Think about that. In the decades after, many people would see it as creepy and menacing and perverted. Back in the year 2000, people wanted it nominated as the best on-screen kiss.
I was hoping you'd give me a bath. I'm very, very dirty.
It's amazing how far this film has fallen in the eyes of many critics. A lot of the same people who hailed it as the greatest film ever now scoff at it. And I think much of it has to do with their own personal viewpoints changing over the decades of the 2000s and the 2010s, and becoming more and more prone to seeing everything through the prism of victimhood. I like this movie. I saw it when it was brand new in 2000, I saw it before September 11th, 2001, and before the retrospective analysis in the wake of the wars and the Great Recession and the Me Too movement.
You were masturbating?
I was not.
Yes, you were.
Oh, all right, so shoot me. I was whacking off. That's right, I was choking the bishop, chafing the carrot, saying hi to my monster.
Normally, a movie like this that I saw when it was new, that was so critically acclaimed and huge, would receive either an 8 out of 10 stars or a 10 out of 10 stars. However, because this movie is so great, it's higher than an 8. But because it hasn't held up as being as iconic as it was around Y2K, I'm not going to give it a 10. I'm going to go ahead and give it a rare 9-star rating. This is a great movie, and I highly recommend American Beauty.